I'm joined here today by the one and only Khama Worthy, set to fight against Ottman Azaitar coming up here soon at UFC 249. What's up, man? How are you?
Good, brother. Good.
Oh, we're glad to hear it, man. Are we catching you in the gym right now?
Yeah, I actually just finished up on work with my coach. Yeah, I did a little pad work a little bit, get a little warm and stuff.
For sure. What's a Friday usually look like for you training wise?
I normally I get some sparring in with my man Rocky at 2 o'clock. I teach class at 1. I usually do some type of recovery early in the morning, and then I do pad works with my coach, my boxing coach at 3. Then I normally spar at 6 o'clock, and then I wrestle from like 7 to like 9. I wrestle like wrestling, MMA wrestling.
Extremely busy. I assume there's not much time for a free time outside of everything.
Yeah. I mean, I stay busy. I got a family. I run the gym that I'm in now, so I'm always working, training, trying to sleep, trying to eat, working, train.
For sure. We know some guys, they like to stay busy. Others like that downtime. Do you enjoy staying busy?
Yeah, I mean, like it's stressful, but when I'm not busy, I'm bored. Like as soon as I don't have anything going on, it's really boring. Everything gets be the same stuff over and over again. So I like to like kind of have like I have a fight team here. I have like six pro fighters. We're always getting them ready for fights and stuff. We got a couple of amateur guys. We're always getting them ready. So it's really cool. And then like structuralizing classes and stuff. So it keeps me. I'm not busy where I don't. I'm busy doing things that I like to do, and it's also helping me out as a fighter as well.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. You touched a little bit earlier that you do recovery in the mornings. What does recovery look like for you as a fighter?
So I have a couple of different spots that I go to. I go to a place called Regeneration in Pittsburgh, and they do all kind of stuff from dry needling to lasering. They do all kind of different stuff for you. And then I have a chiropractor. I go see Tony Chappie, Green Sheet Chiropractic, and then I go see a spot right up the street from my gym. It's called Pittsburgh Performance Institute. And they have like infrared saunas and they have depression. They have this new calm thing that helps you like relax. And then I do cryotherapy as well up at Cranberry Cryotherapy. So I got a lot of different places. And then I have I have a massage therapist as well, my man Smith. And then I have a movement coach. I have a strength coach. So all those go in.
Yeah, lots of important stuff to keep you up and running. Let's talk about this card a little bit. You're fighting UFC 249. I believe this is in Brooklyn. What was your reaction
Yes.
when they told you you'd be on this card? Because obviously it's a big one with Khabib Nurmagomedov taking on Ferguson for what seems like the 6th time. I mean, what was your reaction?
I was just excited to get a fucking fight because I haven't fought since August, and like I said, I was starting to get fidgety. Like my man, he's gonna fight twice before I fight again. I'm like, oh my god. But I was super excited. My manager hit me up, and because I asked for this fight with Ottman, I think it's a great fight. I think it makes fun TV. Like I said, my post-fight interviews, I'm looking for fun fights, man. Like I'm looking to make entertaining fights. I'm looking for people to go in there and throw it out. And I like the danger of him being a 12-0 guy with like 9 or 10 knockouts or whatever. I'm like, I like that. It's shit to get you up the train. And I like the challenge for me to figure out how to beat him, which I will.
And so what took you so long to get a fight?
UFC, man. I was supposed to fight in October. They hit me up and offered me a person, and then I didn't fall through. And then like everything was there's just so many fucking fighters.
For sure. So you mentioned you wanted to fight this guy in particular. I mean, what are your thoughts on him as you head into this fight?
He's a very experienced. I mean, he's a really high level kickboxer. I mean, he has good wrestling as well because he trains with Khabib and them all the time. He's out there in Morocco. I mean, he's always around a lot of big level, high level fighters and stuff like that. But I see some holes in his game, and I'm looking forward to exploiting them.
And you
Man, when I
mentioned the
saw
whole.
he just got the knockout, and I was just like, oh fuck, let's go. Like he was a 55er, I was a 55er. He got bonus of the fight for a knockout, and I was like, I mean, bonus of the night with the knockout. I thought it made sense. I thought we were going to be. I thought the fight would have happened in like January, like early January or December, or on the New York card. That's what I was really pushing for. I thought it was going to happen in New York card, but UFC takes their time and things.
So you mentioned his knockout power. Why is that more exciting for you? Is it because of the danger element? Is it because you know he's a stand-up guy? What about that makes it more intriguing?
It's just the danger element. I know he's coming to finish fights, which I always do. I come to finish fights, even in my 4 decisions. I'm trying to finish the fight. I just couldn't fit my opponent out, but I'm always coming to finish fight. So that way I know he's coming to fight. I mean, he has good wrestling. Like try to do ground and pound, or he might try to strike a little bit of everything, kickboxing and stuff. So I just like to challenge myself and like see where I stand and where I stand, where I think I stand, how good I am, etc., etc.
And so, how do you think you match up with him? I assume you see this as a matchup that favors yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like it goes back and forth. I mean, like I said, he's a heavy power puncher, but I looked over the people he's fought and stuff, and looked over how he fights, and my style of fighting. I'm just a smarter. My fight IQ is just higher. Like I just think my fight IQ is higher. I'm a more calculated fighter. I've seen a tougher level of competition, and I've fought guys like him multiple times throughout my career. I know for sure he's never fought anyone that can do the things that I can do.
And so, I want to talk about your last fight a little bit, but before we get into the actual fight, obviously you fought Devonte Smith. Did you feel like there was a little bit too much talk about your opponent coming out of there? Maybe not enough people mentioning yourself, considering you got the victory.
Yeah, I mean, like it was weird, like especially in the UFC stuff. Like they were like calling me a journeyman or all kind of shit, and they were like talking about the fight, and like, a lot of people were saying it was a fluke, and I'm like, if you think that knockout was a fluke, it's because you're a fucking idiot and you know nothing. Floyd Mayweather's dad did. Y'all know shit about boxing. I'm like, that was a highly, like, it was a high level striking battle. Everything from ring control to counter punching to initiating the strikes to what he was, the range that we were in, everything. Like I can sit there and break it down for 10 minutes to tell you about everything that how we approach it and what we look for. Taking away certain weapons, making it so he can't use certain weapons. That he had to jump in if he used certain weapons. So I wasn't. I mean, like I've done that. Like that trap that I set for him. I've done that multiple times with multiple people before. So I mean, like for me, when people are just like, "Oh, it was luck, yada yada," or they were friends, it was weird. I'm like, everyone's gonna have some type of say so. But my biggest thing was the interviews, like at the end of the year, where it was like upset of the year, and a lot of people were just like giving him praises and like acting like I didn't just fucking like. I mean, like they could barely find that guy fights. No one wanted to fucking fight him. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason I was able to get the fight on short notice. No one wanted to fight him. People were pulling out of fights and shit. So, but I just keep. I've been like that my whole career. I've always been the dark horse. So I mean, like if I just keep flattening people's fucking taking consciousness away from people and walking away with my money, so those start paying attention.
Speaking of paying attention, did you think you'd have more respect when you actually got the finish? You got the big knockout, shocked a lot of people. Did you think that would lead to more respect from, the fans, the media, everybody involved?
I mean, like the fans. It's not even like the media. It's like it's an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. Like the UFC has an agenda. Like that whole best of 2019 was like they didn't mention a whole bunch of serial killers that I can think of. I'm like, okay, well, and they're like mentioned like new young kid who's like 145 who said he was Ben Askren's dad or some shit like that. So it's a trend. MMA, unfortunately, MMA is a trend, and everything's going with trend, and it's whatever's trendy and shit. So I mean, like, I'll just have to deal with it, run with it. I know I'm a very marketable person. My fights are very marketable and stuff like that. So I'll just have to just continue on that and just take it the way it is.
And so, what do you do? What do you have to do in this fight in order to, get the attention on you, get people talking about you instead of your opponent in this one?
I don't give a fuck what people talk about. I just keep talking shit after interviews. I mean, like, I'm just gonna keep being me. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go out there, look to perform the best of my ability. Of course, look for a finish. But if it goes 3 rounds, look for the sub, look for the ground and pound, whatever. I'm gonna go out there and do what I continually do. So I mean, like, you can only deny it for so long. I mean, that's how it was with Cyborg. I mean, people tried to act like she was who she was for so long, and finally she got to the front. I mean, like, it just is what it is. But if I keep knocking guys out, there's no way you can deny. I mean, like, Jared Cannonier, he's dealing with the same issue right now. People don't really acknowledge him as much because he's not as flashy, et cetera, et cetera. But if he keeps knocking people's fucking heads off, then I don't have much of a choice.
Right, and so that last fight, it led you to getting into the UFC. I mean, although it was on short notice, do you think that if you hadn't taken the fight on short notice, there would have been another opportunity to get to the UFC, like the Contender Series and stuff, or did you feel like you kind of had to take that fight?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't like to really think about like what would have, could have, should have. I don't really know.
Right.
But I was on a 5-fight win streak. I was number one in Pennsylvania. I was number one pound for pound. I was number one in the tri-state area at lightweight. So I mean, I've been fighting some serious guys, decent records and stuff, ex Bellator guys. finishing some good guys and stuff. So, but I mean, like in MMA, it's like being a musical artist. You never really know. Like there's great musical artists that never make it, and then there's like shit artists that are out there making money. So that's just the way it is.
I know one of the talking points for your last fight was, I mean, people were saying you guys were friends, you trained together and everything. Did all that stuff get blown out of proportion, or was there an element of truth there that you guys were friends heading into the fight?
No, oh no, he was my friend. Like he still is my friend now. Actually, I was writing something on his post the other day. No, we were friends. He'd come down and train at my gym multiple times before. Like I said, after my fight, he hit me up 3 weeks before that. I think he reshared my knockout and stuff and shit. So no, he was definitely my friend and still is my friend. So that was the definitely weird part of the whole situation.
And so how does that affect you going into the fight mentally, knowing that you guys are friends? I mean, is it about shutting that off and focusing on who's in front of you? I mean, what's kind of the key there?
Yeah, I mean, like it was definitely weird. Like I had to like make sure I kept my mental right. Like the biggest thing for me was like, shit, this is my friend. He knows because everyone kept saying, "Come on, knows how he fights." I'm like, but the worst is he knows how I fight. Like he's
Right.
sparred me before, and he's had 3 fights in the UFC, so he's used to it all that. He's used to the whole nights and all that. So he's training out of a big gym. I fight out of a smaller gym, which oh, you know what I mean. So it's a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that all that didn't get to me and just go out there and just perform.
And so that we know that coming into your current fight, your upcoming fight, it is in, I believe, mid-April. Is this the right amount of time for your preparation, or is it a little bit too long for you because we know that you're itching to get back out there?
Yeah, I mean, like, no, it's good. It's a decent amount of time. It gives me time to like set things up. I got a couple of guys fighting. I'll get their fights in, get them all ready, and then like focus strictly on myself. I'll officially kick in the hard fight camp like late February and like really amp it up and start bringing the proper training partners to setting up training sessions and stuff like that. So I can get like a good 8 weeks worth of training.
And so what kind of fight are you expecting out there? I mean, you mentioned that he's a knockout artist. You're a knockout artist as well. I mean, what can we expect out there?
A-class violence, like I said before, man. It's gonna be a lot of fucking violence, man. I mean, like I said, I'm a highly calculated world class striker, and he seems like he's the same. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff, and it's gonna be really interesting to see if he can deal with the pressure and the timing that I bring.
All right.
I know
Now,
he does tricks and stuff because he works with a lot of good people. So I'm looking to see if he can. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can execute him, or even if he thinks he can execute him, or when he doesn't execute him, like how that all works.
and so with that in mind, I have just one more for you. How do you see yourself getting your hand raised come mid-April at UFC 249?
I mean, me personally, I see every fight ending with a knockout, and that's just how it is. But it's just knockout, submission, whatever decision. I don't know if I'm getting out of there with the fucking W. Knockout, submission, decision, it doesn't matter. Come on, 3. That's all that matters. I'm getting out with the W.
All right, well, we look forward to it, man. It's going to be a great fight. Thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.